The story begins with a car mechanic named Gray, who is repairing a car in his garage. This car belongs to one of his regular customers, and today he had to return this car to its owner. When Gray closes the garage and sets out to deliver the car to its owner, his wife Asha arrives there in her AI automatic car. The automatic car that Asha had was quite advanced. This car would take a person to their location on just a voice message, without touching the steering wheel. But Gray does not like AI technology at all. He believed that these robotic machines would become a very big threat to humans in the future. But on the other side, Gray's wife Asha works at a very big AI company. The two were worlds apart in their thinking, but still, they loved each other very much. Gray says to his wife Asha, "Come, let me introduce you to someone today. I have a regular customer whose car I have repaired, and now I have to return his car to him." Asha first refuses to go there, but after Gray insists repeatedly, she agrees to go. But Gray does not know that by taking Asha there, he is making the biggest mistake of his life. After that, both of them set off towards that customer's home in the same customer's car, and Asha's automatic car is also following behind them, so that when Gray hands over the car to his customer, they can come back home in their automatic car. Upon reaching there, Gray introduces his wife to a man named Aaron. Then Gray's wife is quite surprised to see him, because Aaron was the owner of a very big tech company. This company made AI automatic things. Here, Asha says to her husband Gray, "Why didn't you tell me before that you were bringing me to meet Aaron?" Actually, Aaron was Gray's regular customer. But here we see that Aaron's nature was a little strange. He did not even know how to greet someone when you meet them. Asha says to Aaron, "I also work at an AI tech company that will soon match your company." To which Aaron says with a smile, "That can never happen. Come, let me show you why." And then Aaron took them both to his lab. There, Aaron showed them a special chip he had made, which was an AI, meaning an artificial intelligence chip, and he had named that chip STEM. He explains that this chip can do anything because it has many powers, and no one has ever built a mind faster than this. After seeing this invention, Gray and his wife are returning home in their electric car. The car was on automatic mode. Asha and Gray were lost in romance in the back seat of the car, but then suddenly their car strays from its path and starts going down a different road. Gray notices that the car is not going where it should be going. Then Gray's wife tells her car to get back on the road to home, but the car says that there is some kind of malfunction in the system. Gray tries to manually press the brakes of the car to stop it. Instead of stopping, the car's speed increases even more. Both of them try hard to stop the car, but they cannot stop the car, because of which their car hits a speed breaker and flips over. Luckily, neither of them gets seriously injured in this accident and both survive. They are trying to get out of the car when just then a vehicle comes and stops there, from which 4 people come out, and they drag both of them out of the car and grab them. A police drone camera is also there from above, recording everything, trying to identify those 4 people, but the drone cannot identify them. Here Gray thinks that perhaps these people are thieves. He says to them, "Please let us go, and in return you can take our car, our money, everything." But those people do not listen to anything Gray says, and one of the men shoots Gray's wife. Seeing this, Gray becomes completely numb. His whole world is destroyed before his eyes. He begins to scream loudly. After that, these people grab Gray, beat him up badly first, and then they shoot Gray in the back of the neck as well. They steal all of Gray and Asha's belongings and leave from there. Gray was still breathing, and he was watching his wife writhe in agony before his very eyes. But Gray could do nothing at all, because not a single part of his body could move, and then right before Gray's eyes, his wife dies. A little while later, the police arrived there. They sent Asha's body for post-mortem and admitted Gray to the hospital. After 3 months of treatment in the hospital, Gray's life was saved, but now he was not capable of walking. Due to the bullet hitting below the neck, his spinal cord was broken. His entire body below the shoulders became paralyzed. And then after 3 months, Gray is brought back home, and here Gray is in a wheelchair because his entire body except his head was lifeless. Now Gray could not do any work at all. That is why there was a robot machine at his home to do all his work, and his mother was taking care of him. But for Gray, life had now become a burden. Those 4 killers had not only killed his wife, but had also ruined his life. He was burning in the fire of revenge. Gray had only one hope left, on which he was surviving. He wanted to see his wife's killers behind bars as soon as possible. That is why he goes to the police station. At the police station, when Gray asks them about his wife's killers, the detective says that none of them have been traced yet. Our police drone camera was present there, but the footage was blurry, due to which the killers cannot be identified, and the police are investigating further. We will find them very soon. Then Gray is very disappointed to hear this, because for a long time Gray had only been hearing from the police that we are investigating. Now Gray had completely lost courage, and he did not want to live this way either, because the hope he had of seeing his wife's killers behind bars seemed unfulfilled to him. Gray had come come to understand that the police would never catch those 4 killers. That is why he now started thinking of killing himself. Gray takes an overdose of medicine with the help of the robot machine that was present there, which causes him to lose consciousness. The good thing was that the AI system installed in his home called an ambulance on time, which saved Gray's life. And here, his regular customer Aaron comes to meet Gray. He says to Gray, "I feel very bad seeing you in this condition." Aaron gives Gray hope to stand on his own feet again and live, and says, "Gray, do you remember I once showed you a powerful AI chip? If I put it inside your body, you will be able to walk again. Along with that, you will also become very powerful." But Gray refuses Aaron's offer. Gray says, "I don't want to live this life anymore." Then Aaron says to him, "Think it over, Gray. This chip cannot bring your wife back to life, but it can give you a chance to live again. If your wife were also alive, she would have wanted the same thing." This touched Gray's mind. He started thinking that if I recover, I will be able to take revenge for my wife. That is why he agrees to Aaron's proposal. Now here we come to know that Aaron had no sympathy for Gray. He had only come to Gray for his own purpose, because he wanted to insert his AI chip into someone's body. He wanted to check whether his invention was successful or not. That is why Aaron wanted to secretly experiment by putting that chip inside Gray's body, because the government does not give permission to conduct such experiments. In the next scene, we see that Aaron is experimenting on Gray's body at his home. Here that chip is implanted into Gray's spinal cord. That chip connected directly to Gray's brain. A few hours after the operation, when Gray regains consciousness, the doctor tries to move his hands and legs and checks whether Gray can feel his hands and legs or not. Then by seeing Gray's condition, they understand that the chip has had no effect on Gray's body. Aaron becomes very disappointed because years of his hard work had gone to waste. But just then, Gray starts moving his hands. Seeing this, those people are left stunned, and now Gray was able to move both his hands, and then before their very eyes, Gray stands up on both his legs. Seeing himself recover, Gray becomes very happy. Now he started feeling even more powerful than before. Aaron too becomes quite happy seeing his experiment become successful. Then here Aaron makes Gray sign a contract in which he will not tell anyone that he can walk, and he will have to remain as a paralyzed person in everyone's eyes. Because if the government found out that Gray is able to walk again through the chip, Aaron would be arrested and that chip would be removed from Gray's body, because injecting that chip into someone's body is illegal. After that, Gray comes home sitting in his wheelchair. Here he finds out that a package sent by the detective has arrived for him, which contained Gray's wife's post-mortem report and some information related to his case. That day, Gray started watching the footage recorded by the police drone, but the footage was not clear, so Gray could not find any information about the killers. He starts drinking in disappointment. Just then, suddenly a voice came to him. "Did you notice one thing in the footage?" Hearing this voice, Gray starts looking here and there, but he could not see anyone. Gray said in panic, "Who is it? Come out and show yourself." Then the voice came again. "Calm down, Gray. I am the AI chip inside you, the same system that is running your body." Here Gray thinks that perhaps he has gone mad, to which the chip says, "No, Gray, you have not gone mad. I have been with you since the day of the operation. Whatever you can see, I can see too." To which Gray asked, "Can anyone else hear you?" The chip replied, "No, only you can hear me." Here the chip tries to help Gray so that with the help of the drone, Gray can find out who the people were that killed his wife. Along with Gray, that chip too could see everything that Gray could see through his eyes. The chip draws Gray's attention towards one of the killers in the footage and says, "Look, Gray, one of these 4 has a tattoo on his body." But that tattoo was not at all clearly visible. So Gray said, "This is very blurry. I cannot see it." To which the chip says, "You cannot see it, but I can. I can make a clear image of this tattoo. Just pick up a paper and pencil." After Gray picks up the paper and pencil, the chip, with the help of Gray's hand, draws that exact same tattoo perfectly. And when Gray looks at that tattoo, it turns out to be a military tattoo. After doing research, Gray finds out about the man with that tattoo. Gray is left amazed that the chip pulled out that killer's tattoo and address within just a few minutes, something the police could not do even after months of investigation. Gray becomes very happy because he had found out about one of his wife's killers. Then Gray thinks of informing the police about him, but here the chip stops Gray from doing so. It reminds him that Aaron had forbidden you from doing all of this. Have you forgotten that you signed a contract with Aaron that you would never reveal to people that you can walk? And if you tell the police about this killer, the police will instead ask you how you found out about these killers and how you drew this tattoo. Gray asks the chip, "Then you tell me, what do I do now?" The chip tells Gray, "First go yourself to that man's address and collect evidence against him." That is why Gray now goes there himself. But there were police drones there. That is why Gray stays seated in his wheelchair in front of those drones. And when the drones leave from there, Gray quietly stands up from there and goes towards the killer's house. He opens the door of the killer's house and goes inside. Going there, he starts looking for evidence. And here Gray finds out that someone has sent many messages to that killer. The chip inside Gray reads all those messages within a few seconds. The chip tells Gray that the name of a place called Old Bone has been mentioned repeatedly in these messages. Do you have any information about it? Gray said, yes, it is the name of a bar near our house. In the middle of all this, Gray hears the sound of someone coming. Actually, that killer was there who had come back. That killer sees that all the things on his table are scattered. Just then, that killer spots Gray through the mirror on the wall in front. He immediately attacks Gray and asks him, how did you find me? Then Gray gives no answer to this. And Gray asks the killer, you tell me, who killed my wife? That killer was very powerful, so he starts getting the better of Gray. Before he could kill Gray, the chip inside Gray asks Gray, give me full control of your body so that I can do something. After which Gray gives permission without thinking. After getting permission, the chip, Gray suddenly attacks that killer and starts beating him up very badly. That killer too gets confused about where this sudden strength came from in him, and Gray too is puzzled about how he became so powerful. Here Gray tells that killer to surrender himself, but that killer attacks him with a knife. Then the chip, handling the entire situation, kills that killer. And then after killing the killer, the chip gives back body control to Gray. Seeing this, Gray becomes very distressed because he did not want to kill the killer. He felt that going to jail was now certain. The chip tells Gray, don't panic, Gray, nothing will happen to you. Just quickly wipe all your fingerprints from here. Now here, whatever the chip says, Gray does exactly that. A little while later, the police took that man's body for postmortem, where we get to see that detective. During the postmortem, the detective found out that inside his body there was a weapon inserted, and along with that, there were small wires throughout his entire body, meaning that killer was an upgraded human who was far more powerful than any ordinary human. On the other side, Aaron is very angry at Gray. Why did you kill that killer? This was a very risky move. If you had been caught, I would have gone to jail along with you. I did not insert this chip inside you so that you could take revenge for your wife. And if you do something like this again, I will deactivate the chip inside you, after which you will become paralyzed again. On the other side, the detective is also trying to find out who killed that man. Just then, the detective finds out that at the time when that killer was murdered, a little while before that, Gray was roaming in his wheelchair in the same area. After which the detective comes directly to Gray's home. The detective says to Gray, we have seen you in that area at the time when the man named Sark was murdered. We already suspected that man might have been the one who killed your wife because we have a very big criminal record of his, and he lived in the same area where your wife was killed, and now yesterday that very man has been murdered. Then here Gray says in surprise, oh, I see. But if you were thinking that I killed him, then your thinking is wrong, because you can see that I am paralyzed. And if you still don't believe me, you can stab a knife in my leg and check. The detective also does not suspect Gray because she thinks that if he cannot even take care of himself, then how would he be able to kill someone? That is why she says goodbye to Gray and leaves from there. After the detective leaves, Gray relaxes and takes a breath because his life was saved. After this, Gray asks the chip, what do we do next? Then the chip tells Gray to go to the Old Bone bar. The chip says, remember, in those messages we found from that killer's house, this bar was mentioned several times. We should go there. Perhaps you might find some clue there. After this, we see that Gray goes to that same bar. This bar was very dangerous. All the people sitting there were thugs. Gray comes here and says loudly, I have already killed a man named Sark some days ago, but I know that there were 3 more people with him who killed my wife. If anyone here was involved in this murder with Sark, let them raise their hand. Hearing this, everyone laughs at Gray. Just then, a tall man named Tolen stood up and said to Gray, go home, kid. Otherwise, I will send you to where your wife is too. Gray understood that Tolen was also involved in killing my wife. Gray replies, you know, Sark was saying the same thing just before he died. Hearing this, Tolen got very angry. He takes Gray alone with his men, lifts him out of the wheelchair, and throws him on the ground. Then Gray asks him, were you also among those people who killed my wife? Then Tolen says, yes, I was also among them. That was all it took. Hearing this, Gray gives the chip full control of his body, after which, with the help of the chip, Gray knocks down 2 of the men near him, and then starts beating Tolen badly as well. Gray pushes Tolen down to the ground and asks him, where are your other 2 companions, and why did you people kill my wife? But instead of being scared, Tolen was laughing in return. He does not tell Gray anything. Just then that chip says to Gray, if you want, I can very easily make him talk. Gray says, of course you try. The chip cuts up that killer's face completely. Gray asks, now tell me, why did you kill my wife? All of Tolen's arrogance disappeared, and he immediately said, we were paid to kill your wife, and it was Fisk who paid me. But before Gray could ask him anything more about Fisk, that man dies right there. Gray angrily says to the chip, I did not tell you to kill him. You were only supposed to make him talk. Just then, Gray's eyes fell on the chain around the neck of that dead man, on which the name of the company that made it, Cobalt, was written. Seeing this, Gray was shocked because Gray's wife Asha worked at that company, meaning the people from Asha's own company wanted her killed. On the other side, Aaron had already found out that Gray had taken someone's life again. Now he was quickly trying to shut down the chip. Just then, that chip tells this to Gray, that Aaron is trying to shut me down. That is why we will have to do something as quickly as possible. Gray said, what do we do now? Just then, that chip tells Gray about a hacker, so that with the hacker's help, Aaron's inputs can be removed, which will end Aaron's hold and he will not be able to do anything. The chip gives Gray the full address of a hacker named Jamie. After this, Gray starts going to that hacker. A little while later, Gray reaches that hacker's flat. But on the other side, Aaron shuts down that chip by 30%, which causes one of Gray's legs to become paralyzed. But Gray still gathers his courage and goes up. Aaron keeps working rapidly to shut down the chip, which causes one of Gray's arms and one leg to become paralyzed. But before Aaron could completely paralyze Gray, Gray reaches the hacker's door. After this, Aaron shuts Gray down 100%. Now Gray was completely paralyzed. The good thing was that Gray had reached the hacker's door and had already knocked. After this, a hacker named Jamie opens the door. Gray gave Jamie some money and told him everything that the chip had explained to him. The hacker brought Gray inside and started working on the coding. Just then, we see two men on the other side at that bar where Gray had killed Tolen. One of them was the very same man who had shot Gray's wife, and his name is Fisk. Now here, Fisk is angry at the bar owner because Gray killed one of his men and left, and the bar owner did nothing at all. Fisk kills that bar owner. Fisk becomes very angry seeing his companion dead. Here, Fisk inserts a thin pin into his companion's eye, and from that pin device, Fisk comes to know everything, and he also finds out where Gray is at this moment. After this, Fisk and his companion set out to go there. On the other side, the hacker had freed Gray's system. Now the only wait was for the chip to restart, and the hacker tells Gray that after a little while, the chip inside you will reboot. Just then, that hacker sees that two people are coming there, and those two people were Fisk and his companion. After this, Fisk and his companion try to break down the door, at which point, that chip starts booting up again inside Gray's body, which causes one of Gray's hands to start working again. Here, Fisk and his companion break down the door and come inside. Coming inside, both of them see that Gray is lying on the ground paralyzed. Just as both of them are about to kill Gray, suddenly the chip inside Gray's body restarts, and Gray immediately starts running from there. Then Fisk's companion also chases him while firing. Gray, saving himself, climbs up to the roof of the building. There was no way to go further ahead, so Gray stops right there. Here, that chip shows its power and kills Fisk's companion with great brutality. By the time Fisk arrives there, Gray has already left from there. After this, when Gray comes to his home, his mother sees that his entire body is covered in blood. Along with that, Gray is also standing on his own feet, meaning he is no longer paralyzed. After this, Gray tells his mother everything about how he recovered again because of Aaron's chip. Along with that, Gray also tells his mother to keep this a secret. On the other side, Aaron is under a lot of tension because Gray and that chip had now slipped out of his hands. After the hacker entered the inputs, Aaron was unable to track it. After this, Gray's mother comes there and tells him that the detective has come. Here the detective says to Gray, "Your wheelchair was found at the place where the second murder happened. What do you have to say about this?" To which Gray says, "Yes, I was there, but I did not kill anyone." Now the detective also started to suspect Gray. Then the detective says to him, "3 people have been killed, and all 3 are the same ones we suspected of killing your wife. And every time you are found at the place where the murder happens. So it is possible that you are having all these murders carried out by paying someone." Then Gray says to her, "If that is what you think, you can check my call records." Then here, that detective cannot say anything and quietly slips a microphone into Gray's pocket while leaving. Gray now started to realize that in his obsession with punishing the killers, he himself had become a killer. Gray says, "Now I will have to stop all of this." Then that chip says, "No, Gray, we have to kill this last man whose name is Fisk, because if we don't kill him, he will kill us." But Gray did not want to kill anyone anymore. So he says to the chip, "Enough, that is enough now. Get out of my mind." Just then, Gray's body goes uncontrolled and falls back on the pillow. Gray asks the chip in distress, "Why can I not move?" After this, that chip tells Gray, "Because of the codes that hacker entered into my system, I have become completely free." This means that now that chip can do all those things without Gray's permission. "Gray, I now have full control of your body. Now you will move according to my will. If I want, you will not be able to move even a single finger of your hand." Hearing this, Gray's breath got stuck in his throat. Here, whatever Gray and the chip were talking about, on the other side, the detective was also listening to all those conversations because she had put a microchip in Gray's pocket. But here the detective cannot understand who it is that Gray is talking to. After this, the chip said to Gray, "Now let's go. Gray, we have to finish off that last killer." Now Gray had completely lost control over his body, so he starts becoming willing to do whatever the chip tells him. Gray picked up a gun and started preparing to kill Fisk. His mother tries to stop him, but he ignores her and gets in the car and drives off. Here the detective also starts following Gray. After this, Gray finds that microphone in his pocket. So the chip says that this microphone must have been placed by that detective. Gray throws the microphone and finds out that the detective is following him. Then, in order to lose the detective, that chip hacks an electric car and causes an accident with the detective's vehicle, which causes them to leave the detective behind. After this, the detective goes to Gray's mother and asks about everything that was going on there. On the other side, Gray finds Fisk and at gunpoint asks him, "Why did you kill my wife?" To which Fisk says, "We had nothing to do with your wife. Our target was only you. Our purpose was to sever your spinal cord. When I shot you in the neck, you thought that was a bullet. But in reality, it was a medical tool that damaged your spinal cord. And your wife, we killed her just for the extra money." Hearing this, Gray exploded with anger, and now a fight broke out between the two of them. Fisk was also an upgraded human, but of an older model. That is why he could not last long against Gray's power, and Gray kills Fisk very brutally. After this, Gray starts checking his phone. Then from the phone recording, Gray finds out that behind all of this is none other than Aaron. He was the one who had Asha killed and paralyzed Gray. Now Gray, without thinking, goes to Aaron's home to kill him. But there, Aaron was sitting alone and crying. Gray asked Aaron, "Why did you do this? What had I done to you?" Aaron says, "This was not my planning. I did not have your wife killed." Gray says, "Don't lie. I have heard your recording on the mobile." Before Gray could kill Aaron, the detective comes from behind and tells Gray to throw down his gun. And as soon as the detective comes near Gray, Gray knocks the detective down. Now here, Gray did not want to kill that detective, but the chip wanted to kill her. Gray, using his full strength, pulls his hand away from the detective's neck. Now the chip says to Gray, "Do you now want to fight with me? You don't know that your mind is under my control. You know that I can cause you pain too." After which, that chip picks up the knife from Gray's hand and drives it into his other hand, which causes Gray to start screaming. Gray now moved forward again to kill the detective. He was just about to kill her when the detective gives him a shock with the taser gun, which causes him to fall down and become paralyzed. After this, Aaron, holding a gun, moves forward towards Gray, and here happens the main plot reveal of the movie. Here Aaron says, "I was the one who made this chip, and before you, I used to talk to this chip, and the chip told me that it wants to become like a human. I did what the chip in your neck made me do. Having Fisk contracted to kill your wife, paralyzing you, and getting that chip installed in your neck. All of it was that chip's plan. I made this chip, but I could not fully control it. This chip wanted to get inside a human body and make it take decisions according to its own will, and this chip had chosen you." Hearing these things, Gray is very surprised. Aaron explains that this chip wants to kill me because if I remain alive, I will build another AI chip just like this one, and the chip does not want anyone else like itself to exist. That is why it wants to kill me. And here, that chip says, "Yes, this was my plan. I wanted to become a living human. That is why I did all of this." This time, Aaron and the detective are also able to hear what the chip is saying. Here, that chip activates once again, and it immediately kills Aaron. Now that chip tries to kill the detective as well. Here, Gray uses all his strength to spoil its aim. In anger, the chip points a pistol at Gray's neck, and the very next moment something strange happens. When Gray's eyes open, he finds himself on a hospital bed. Here he calls out to the chip, but gets no response at all, and then his wife is also right there in front of him. His wife tells him that we had an accident, and you have been unconscious for many days. So then was all of this just a dream? Absolutely not. In reality, that chip had completely disconnected Gray's mind from his body and sent him into a beautiful world of his dreams. Gray's mind was lost there, while his body, in the real world, was under the chip's control. The chip was now about to kill the detective as well. The detective says to him, "Gray, you cannot do this." Then that chip says, "Gray is not here anymore. He is in a very good place, in his dream world, where he should be. And now this body is in my possession." And saying this, that chip shoots the detective. And with that, this story comes to an end. If you liked the video, please do subscribe to our channel and like the video.